Hi, I'd like to welcome you to the Tennessee College of Applied Technology here in Shelbyville. My name is Steve Mallard, and I'm here today with James King. James King is a Vice Chancellor of the Colleges of Applied Technology under the governance of the Tennessee Board of Regents. He's a graduate of the University of Tennessee at Martin. He has a master's degree from the University of Memphis. He began his career as a vocational agricultural teacher in 1978, has been the director of the Tennessee Centers at Crump, Jackson, and Memphis. Mr. King is the immediate past president of the Board of Directors for Skills USA. He also serves on the Board of Trustees for the American Technical Education as past president. Mr. King is a board member for the National Technical Honor Society, and he has served in his present position as Vice Chancellor since August 1999. Welcome,
Hello,
James.
Steve. Welcome. Glad to be here.
James, we asked you to come down so we could tell our audience about the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, because by all means we're not the only one. We were the first here in the state of Tennessee. And how many institutions do we have now?
You know, we go back, we're celebrating 50 years all across the state, and there are 27 campuses now located across the state. 19 were the original 19, with Shelbyville being the first one.
Yes, sir.
Since then they've grown. But you take those 27 aside, we have probably another 30 off-campus sites across the state. So originally they were designed to be within 50 miles of every citizen in the state, and now they're probably within 25 miles of every
Right,
citizen in the
absolutely.
state. So.
And you know, recently we just went through a large expansion. So, and it took our wide county area of 8 counties, and it made us more accessible for the citizens here in Tennessee. And you know, a lot of folks will call here, and we'll tell them about the programs that we offer here. But across the state, there's a lot of diverse programs, right?
Right. There are. You know, when we look at our programs, you start with our shortest program, our diploma program, be truck driving, where a person can get their commercial truck driving license within a little over 2 weeks.
Right.
And then you go on up to automotive, which is nearly 2 years, industrial maintenance. Then we do practical nursing, one of the most comprehensive programs, aviation maintenance.
Right, absolutely.
You know, these are people that work on your airplanes that fly, and so they all have to be FAA approved. And so it's quite a diverse mix, and you know, with human services from cosmetology to IT, and pretty broad.
Right, and with that, that's our certificate and diploma-based programs, and we also offer supplemental programs and special industry. And the catering of special industry, how does that help industry here in Tennessee?
When you look at, we have over 30,000 students across the state, and a third of those students are what we call special industry students. Those are students that we design specific programs for business and industry across the state. And they could be short-term programs up until a year-long programs. But, you know, industry has to remain current.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we do a great job. We're a resource for a lot of those. You know, we from FedEx in Memphis. You know, it's interesting the impact of our programs. You know, everyone in the country's heard of FedEx, or the world's heard of FedEx.
Right.
A third of their maintenance mechanics have been trained by the TCAT.
And that's awesome.
Yeah,
That really is.
And one of Tennessee's largest exporters are hip and knee joint medical devices. And Tennessee's a leading exporter of medical devices. In a recent interview with the Secretary of Labor, Secretary Perez, he had a group of business partners in Memphis that were partners of the TCAT in Memphis.
Right.
In the medical device industry, one of them made a comment that they could not operate without the machining students coming out of the TCAT.
And that's awesome. It
So,
really is.
and it shows the impact of how, and that's just every community pretty much has that story.
And you know, a lot of folks who view this out on YouTube, or they come and see the video, some of the things that people don't really realize is the TCATs have been recognized by the New York Times, and we've been in the Washington Post, and in our class alone, PC World Magazine, Info World Magazine. So as these schools begin to expand, what do you think makes them different than a 2-year and a 4-year university in today's world?
And I want to say, use the word marketable skills. That's all we do.
Right.
It's workforce development is all we do. And in today's world, the degree for degree's sake is not as important as marketable skills.
Right.
And you know, when you mentioned being recognized, you know, I think one of the proudest moments that I think I've had is when Bill Gates and Bill and Melinda Gates actually asked to tour one of our campuses.
Right.
They want, and Bill's comment was actually, before I can promote what you do, I need to see it. And he
Absolutely.
spent 2.5 hours talking to faculty and students. But the proudest thing was, a year and a half later, he was speaking at a conference in New York called Academically Adrift, and we have a lot of students that are academically adrift, not at the TCAT, but other places.
Right.
And Bill Gates made the comment to that group that there are 2 systems in this country doing it the right way, and one of them was the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology.
And you know, that's really a proud moment for me to hear
Right.
that, especially being a faculty member. And that uniqueness, when students choose, I want vocational technical education, I want to learn a job or a skill or a trade or what we offer, what's the benefits besides that job, such as the cost and those kind of things?
You know, the cost, no one else can compete in this country with, now that the governor has enacted the Tennessee Promise and the Tennessee Reconnect. And the Tennessee Promise gets a lot of attention because it's for high school graduates and it's a last dollar scholarship program. The Tennessee Reconnect, which doesn't get as much attention, but it's the Tennessee Promise for adults over the age of 24, for independent adults. So there's no excuse for anyone in the state of Tennessee not to go to school.
So they can come in, learn a
Go to
skill,
school.
learn a trade,
And
whatever.
then that leads up to the fact that, you know, where our national attention has come from is we're about 4 times the national average in completing students. We're completing 82% of the students that start here. The national average is closer
Right.
to 20. And so on top of that, Steve, no student graduates with debt,
Which is phenomenal.
which is phenomenal. When the student debt crisis is a crisis nationally. Matter of fact, I was watching something last night in the presidential debates, and the topic was student debt. But no student, and then on top of that, 90% of the students get jobs in the related field, not working at a fast food, which is nothing's wrong with that. But
Right,
but they
absolutely.
go into getting a job in the field that they're actually getting trained in, and in many cases, many students have more than one job offer
Right.
before they graduate, not after graduating. They're out pounding the pavement. Many of them have the job in their hand before they graduate.
Right, and you and I have talked about this before. When they get that job, the career pathways alone, where somebody may start out as a basic welder and then later they specialize in welding and they can grow. And we have students today who leave here and get that job and then later maybe go to a community college and a university. And when they do that, they can grow in their field. But it's a great starting point. People make great livings. They make great money today. There's a recent article that we posted that we both tweeted out, and it's on our Facebook page, where it says most people think that vocational technical education leads to menial jobs and low wages, and that's not the case.
Okay. Now, they're livable wages or above, and
Absolutely.
then many times students also start on businesses. A lot of young people may start out as an HVAC, or heating air ventilation graduate, work for someone for a while. Next thing you know, they've got a fleet of trucks doing this all
Absolutely.
over. Or the same way with IT, you can go as far as you want to with IT, in trucking. I mean, every field, you can go as far as you desire. And the other component that we're really trying to teach, which makes us a little different than a lot of entities, is we try to teach employability skills.
Right.
That student, which hopefully they have some resume writing skills or interviewing skills when they come out.
Absolutely.
So they're somewhat prepared to enter the workforce. We do get a lot of students that have been dislocated workers over the years, and they have not applied for a job maybe in 20 years.
Right.
So they need to bone up on those kind of things, and how to write a good resume, how to do an interview, and things of this nature. So, and then on top of that, we're highly involved in a program called Skills USA, which is a student organization that has over 300,000 students
Absolutely.
across the nation. And in my day, it was called VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America, but now it's Skills USA, and it promotes leadership skills and service learning and some other things. And so we want to add that component, because business and industry leaders, no matter what business and industry say, not only with the skill, they want some soft skills. They want you to be able to communicate. They want problem-solving skills. And And on top of that, they want you to be at work and be at work on time.
Absolutely. And of course, we have a worker ethics program that helps bestow those worker ethics into students whenever they come. And to say that we're a lot of our classes are non-traditional compared to a regular college. They're not going to those regular classes such as history and economics. They're learning their trade, and they may go to our tech foundations where they learn math and they go over English and the resume writing, like you said.
Yeah, now, and not that there's anything wrong with the arts.
Right,
industry,
absolutely.
But many of our students have one goal in mind, is to get a job, to feed their family, to pay the light bill, buy a car.
What makes the instructors unique
They're
for someone
coming-
who's watching
They're
this?
pretty much coming directly out of the workplace. And it's amazing how many of our graduates are instructors.
Absolutely.
And that they want to come back and give back. So undoubtedly, these are pretty good jobs, so they wouldn't want to come back.
Right.
But any graduate needs to go into the workplace, experience the workplace, because the students want to hear what it's like in the workplace.
Right.
And so all of our students, all of our instructors have experience in the field that they were trained in.
Right, and a lot do have degrees, and they've got unique certifications to those industries.
And that's the key to it, is certifications. We want every student in a program that has a certification to come out with us, whether it's ASC certification for automotive or just a litany of certifications in IT.
Right.
And then whether it's the FAA certification for aviation, the licensed practical nursing exam.
Right.
And what's amazing on the programs that have, and it goes back to complement the faculty, on the programs that have licensures, state or national licensures, the pass rate is over 96%.
Which is just
And that's usually
unreal.
for the first time that they take the test. So
Right.
the faculty are doing a good job. We have a model that works, and it's throughout the nation right now. I hear the term the Tennessee model.
Right,
And it refers
absolutely.
to what we do. And if you follow that model, if you come in, you've got to commit yourself as a student. In many cases, 30 hours a week. But if you commit yourself and do what's required, you can almost 82% of you will graduate. And of that 82%, 90 will probably get a job in their related field. So those are pretty good odds. And I don't think no system in the country can give you that kind of odds.
And they really can't. And James, we usually have to keep these short due to the uploads that we have to make. But we want to thank you for stopping by, and it's a unique insight for future students and perhaps those mom and dads or people who are thinking about going back. And again, like Mr. King said, the Tennessee Promise, the Tennessee Reconnect, those last dollar scholarships can be a big financial help for folks today. And if you visit any of our schools' websites, we have the programs listed and the information about the different certifications. And we always invite folks to email our student services and our financial aid folks, and they are more than willing to help all the time. But we want to thank you for stopping by today.
It's been a pleasure. It's always fun to talk about Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology. I've been with them since January of '83, so this is what I know. So,
Fantastic. Thank you, James.
Thank you.